The news that the King has signalled that Prince Andrew and Sarah, the Duchess of York, will not be welcome at the royal family's Christmas celebrations next year. Sources close to Charles, they say, indicated he's going to keep them at arm's length, basically. Yesterday, a third tranche of documents were released by the House Oversight Committee in the US. They referenced Prince Andrew again having travelled on board Jeffrey Epstein's private jet and appeared to receive several massages, which were paid for with $200 cheques, these documents seem to claim. Prince Andrew, I should remind you, denies any wrongdoing. Let's speak to Andrew Lownie, who's a royal historian, the author of Entitled, The Rise and Fall of the House of York. Andrew, always nice to get your insights on these things. Damage limitation, clearly, from the King here, not wanting them to be sort of visually part of Christmas. I mean, has this not just done as much damage as it can do? How much damage can there really be left?
Well, I mean, there's much more information I suspect will come out. We've got Regina Giffrey's book coming out in a few weeks' time. We've got victims who've said they will go onto the floor of the Capitol and make their stories known. We may well have this drip feed of emails still relating to both Fergie and Andrew. So they're not out of the woods. And I'm surprised by this comment by King Charles. He never seems to get ahead of the story, which is what he should be doing. You know, I don't think anyone expects them to be invited or to be seen publicly with the royal family in the future, even on private occasions. But I think the public mood is that he needs to do something more than this. They have, I think, created huge reputational damage to the royal family. And I think that needs to be properly acknowledged. I mean, just saying that you won't have them at family occasions isn't really going to cut the mustard. And, you know, I think one of the interesting things was at the funeral of the Duchess of Kent, which was only quite recently, they had an armed escort from Windsor. Now, who arranged that? Was that King Charles? These are two non-working royals. Plenty of royals turn up at royal events under their own steam. So I'm kind of not sure we're getting the full picture from King Charles. This is all a bit of window dressing.
Okay. What is their relationship like, do you think, Sarah and Andrew, with the rest of the family?
Well, I don't think they're particularly popular with the rest of the family. I mean, they try and ingratiate themselves. I think the rest of the family can see the damage that they're doing. I mean, clearly William, we know, feels very strongly about Andrew. I don't think they have many supporters there. I mean, Fergie has been sort of working her way in with King Charles and Camilla because of sort of previous sort of family connections. But I think even they realise that, however forgiving they want to be, these two are not doing the monarchy much good.
Will they see each other day to day? Will they sort of communicate day to day, do you think?
Well, the royal family don't really communicate day to day much anyway. I mean, this is the whole point when they meet at Sandringham and Balmoral. Those in those fixed moments of the year, that is when they come together and chat. So being cut away from those will clearly be very painful. But you know, Fergie had been sort of kept away from everyone, and then suddenly Charles is kissing her hand at Ascot, and she's in the royal box at Wimbledon. So I don't quite know what game they're playing at. They had kind of distanced themselves from her already, and now they're having to do it all over again.
Well, just briefly, Andrew, I'm always curious about this, about their life, Andrew and Sarah. What is their life like? What do they sort of do day to day?
Well, it's a good question. He likes having what he calls air baths. He stands by open windows. He likes watching videos of planes land. He likes to watch pretty terrible films. I mean, she's still busy with her business activities. I suspect he is too. They entertain their friends. He has shooting weekends. They clearly have their family. So it's not that different from the life of a retired couple, just living in a bit of luxury. So I don't think it's changed that much. I mean, we still get to see pictures of him driving out from Windsor on whatever errands he's doing. And I know that there are ways of getting out of Royal Lodge without being seen, so there may be more movement than we think. So I don't think it's a terrible life that they're having at the moment. I mean, clearly they've lost a lot of respect from the public, and of course they're making all sorts of excuses for that. But, you know, they're the victim. They've created their own misfortune, I'm afraid, from the way they've lived their lives.
Well, the King has signalled that Prince Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, will not be welcome at the royal family's Christmas celebrations this year. Roya Nika, the Sunday Times royal editor, has the story. Roya, good morning.
Good morning.
Just talk us through, I suppose, the build-up to this moment and the feelings, really, of the King that have become clear to you in your reporting today.
Well, I think the King has I think his patience, unfortunately, with his brother and former sister-in-law has just run out. It's been interesting. I mean, since the king's accession 3 years ago, he had actually taken quite a different stance to his mother, in that when Prince Andrew stepped back from all his public duties and public life over that Newsnight interview, all the ties with Jeffrey Epstein, she very much kept him sort of away from, public sighted family occasions. But the king sort of took a different view, and in recent years had let Prince Andrew come along to Sandringham Christmases until, of course, last year when the Chinese spy story broke. But he had very much brought Fergie in from the cold after 30 years and sort of rekindled that bond with her. But the latest revelations over the past week, with the emergence last week that Fergie had sent this email to Jeffrey Epstein just weeks after publicly denouncing him, a very friendly email, sort of humbly apologising for denouncing him and calling her his supreme friend, has just really tipped the balance for the king. And he, from now on in, he just feels he can't really have them publicly anywhere near royal family gatherings.
Yeah, and the word that's used is that he wants them to be invisible. How will that be achieved? Will they still be at things and just not publicly visible?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's my strong understanding the king doesn't want them anywhere near Sandringham this Christmas. Right. And the Duchess of Kent's funeral at Westminster Cathedral a couple of weeks ago was a perfect example, because, the king, he's not vindictive. He doesn't feel he can stop his brother and, the Duchess of York going to church for private family occasions like that. But there was a sort of audible gasp from people who were there and press who were there when Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, turned up through the front entrance and sort of, walked in. And the king's feeling is that distracts from, somber occasions like that. It distracts from the royal family being there. And I think what he would like to see going forwards is they come in and go through sort of side doors and back doors, which really is quite an extraordinary request from the king to his brother. But that's how bad things are now reputationally for the Yorks. Yeah,
and just very quickly, Roy, we've only got sort of 30 seconds or so, but I just wonder, this story has built, and the sort of response from the Queen or the King has had to escalate alongside it. Is there another level that this could reach, or is this kind of the end of Prince Andrew in this sort of way, in this sort of role?
I mean, it depends what else comes out. I don't think the king will strip him of titles. He's not vindictive like that. But I think... Yes, I think in terms of being visible alongside the royal family, I think that might be it.
Yeah, it's fascinating reporting. Roy, thank you so much for making the time to speak to us this morning. That is Roy Anika, the Sunday Times royal editor. Her story is on the front page with further details inside as well. Andrew and Sarah not welcome at Christmas.